Death, taxes, and Chris Doering losing our annual LSU Florida bet. So without further ado, here on SEC This Morning, we'd like to welcome in featured guest, Chuckles the Clown. Chuckles, good morning, sir. Hi. Oh, little sad clown. Womp, womp, womp. How we feeling there, buddy? You okay? Oh, well, there's only one person to thank for this. It's definitely not you, Chuckles. It's this guy. Coach Brian Kelly, head coach of the LSU Tigers right now. Coach, what do you think of my co-host Chuckles the Clown this fine Monday morning? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I think I have a ton of respect for Chris and his knowledge of football, but I would stay away from betting.
Hey, stop smiling over there. Give me the sad look right now.
I am sad for me. I'm sad for my alma mater, but happy for Coach Kelly. That was a fantastic game that you guys played. And we actually talked earlier. I'm actually trying to do a serious interview in this outfit here right now, Coach. But we talked to some folks in Baton Rouge late in the week who said you guys had a fantastic practice. Walk me through what it's like. How do you get those guys ready to go? And can you sense that you guys are ready to have a great performance when you have the type of week of practice you had?
Well, when you play as poorly as we did the week before in front of 100,000 fans, you can only go one of two ways. And we needed to be so much more intentional and purposeful in terms of our work. We were so sloppy in terms of what we did. And so it starts with your preparation. And our guys knew that. Their work was so much better. There was much more attention to detail. And, that doesn't mean you're going to win. I mean, you still have to be able to, make plays. And we did. And certainly things have to happen for you. But their preparation was so much better. And a lot of it had to do with, them realizing that they needed to change the way they prepared.
You talk about that, and even going into the game, I remember seeing that Keyshawn Boutte was going to be one of the team captains for the week. Walk us through just a great week of practice and how this team came together for such a pivotal road win.
Well, first of all, you have to have your best players buy into the fact that we need to make some changes here from what we're doing. Now, I am very proud of this entire football team and what we've asked them to do up to this point. They've done some really good things, but it's not good enough for our standard of excellence. And that was shown by a very good team in Tennessee about where we were. So we had to dig down and really raise the bar even higher. And the one guy who really stood out for us was Keyshawn. The way he worked, the example he set, during the week of practice, and the first time that he really, from my perspective, began to, show himself as a leader on our football team. And we made him captain for this game. And you saw the way he played. He played with, the kind of, I think, big play ability that many people have been looking for.
Yeah, you guys got some big play receivers, but without a quarterback to get the football to them, those guys are kind of moot points. I thought this was by far Jayden Daniels' best game. Third down particularly, 8 of 9 on third down passing, moved the chains well to keep some offensive rhythm, obviously able to run the football, but 3 touchdowns as well. What do you make about his progression at this point in time and becoming a more complete quarterback, and how's he gone about that?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The third down conversions were really big. I just think his maturation is tied into the trust that he's gaining with the receiving core. Again, remember now, he had no relationship with anybody here coming in through the transfer portal. So developing that trust and relationship, and then, sinking into, this offense. It is an entirely different offense than he ran for 3 years at Arizona State. And it's just been taking him some time to really see everything and trust it. And we're starting to get the kind of throws that we saw Saturday night before a receiver is open, the ball's out of his hand. That wasn't happening. He was visually hooking up. And of course, how that happens. The ball's late, there's a defender there that's knocking it down. we're now getting the ball out before the break, and better things are happening.
Coach, you talk about that, and whenever you made the decision to come here to the SEC, where the greatest football is being played, and challenge yourself, did you feel like you were going to get this professionalism from the media members here that pepper you with these questions along with Chuckles the Clown here?
I just like the fact that there's this much passion for it, and wanting to put your name out on the line every time that your alma mater's out there. I think that's great. So many people kind of take the back seat and say, well, I'm not going to show my true colors. To do that, I think is awesome, and that's the great part about playing football down here is that everybody, wherever you go, we've been on the road 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Nobody is backing away from who they're rooting for. And I think that makes just for great environments week in and week out in the SEC.
All joking aside, though, like there has been something between us, obviously, with LSU and Florida, but how much do you understand and are starting to understand, hey, what certain opponents mean to the LSU fans that have been there for generations upon generations there in Baton Rouge?
Oh, I'm learning each week. Believe me, Mike Barnett is keeping me informed historically on everything. I'm learning about this rivalry with Ole Miss. I didn't know a lot of the history that goes on with this game, and heck, I didn't know that we beat Auburn in Florida for the first time in the history on the road this year. So I mean, it's for me, just picking up these little nuances is really neat. But it's just a great respect for the history of all these games that are being played week in and week out.
Coach, you mentioned the hits keep coming. When you play in the SEC, there's no real rest for the weary. You got that Ole Miss game coming up. You get a bye. You get Alabama. Where do you think you need to improve right now as you're in the heart of the toughest stretch of your schedule?
Self-inflicted wounds. I mean, it happened again. You saw it in special teams. We're giving the football away. We've got to take care of those mistakes. We gave up 4 big plays on defense. We played really good run defense, and then we give up, look, you guys were talking about KJ Jefferson. Anthony Richardson's hard to bring down too. I mean,
yeah.
The man amongst boys. It just seems each and every week, whether it's Hooker, Richardson, Jefferson, these guys are mammoth. And, he goes for, a big run. And so eliminating the big plays on defense is absolutely huge. And then we've got to be just, the fundamentals are going to be the emphasis on offense, making sure that we stay balanced and keep at it from a fundamental standpoint. I think if we can eliminate the special teams mistakes, the big plays on defense, which are really just tackling for the most part, and then fundamentals, will be a better football team.
Coach, you mentioned the special teams mistakes. Heartbreaking to see Jack Besh have another issue there on the muff punt. Your interview at halftime I thought was great in terms of how you encouraged him. How do you know when to put an arm around a guy and know when to be a little more stern with your players?
Yeah, I think at that time right now, your players in terms of their work ethic. Jack is out here catching more punts and more kickoffs than I've ever been around in my 32 years of coaching. So I know he's putting in the work. Now it's just a matter of you got to trust your technique. As you saw when he tried to catch it, he didn't use the right technique. He tried to grab the football. Mm-hmm. And so he's just got to trust himself. I've got confidence to put you back there, Jack. Trust yourself. And sometimes it's just for these younger players, they just have to trust their technique. And that's kind of what we're going through right now.
Coach, as an LSU fan, I'll tell you this. It feels like there's more fight on a football team than I've seen in some time now. Now you got to take that fight and bring it back home against a very talented Ole Miss team and Lane Kiffin's offense. What do you know about the offense that Lane runs and how this Rebels team has been playing so far?
Well, first of all, very balanced. They can run the ball. Here's what I love about what they do, and I've known Lane for a long time, and have gone against him many times. And he is going to throw the ball equally as well as he can throw it, and then he'll decide based upon what you do defensively as to what he does. Like if you want to run 3 down and play a soft box, he'll run for 400 yards if you let him. Mm-hmm. If you're in a pressure front and you want to play man-to-man coverage, he's going to throw it every down. And that's what I really respect about him, is that they're going to have an offensive structure that really takes advantage of what you want to try to do. If you're one-dimensional defensively, he's going to hurt you. So you've got to be balanced. They can run the quarterback. They've got a lot of ways to get the ball outside. They're going to get it to talented receivers, a lot of motion. But the fundamentals are there. You know, they're going to strike inside, outside, on the perimeter, play action pass down the field. It's a really, you know, it's what I said. It's balanced, and it forces you defensively. You can't be one-sided.
That place is going to be rocking come Saturday night. I'm trying to take a day off and see if Chuckles the Clown will let me. Hey, but I know you guys do great speakers and bring guys back. If you ever need something to, you know, kind of have the mood a little bit different, Chuckles is available. What's your rate to talk to teams? Is it
It'd be expensive.
Yeah, Coach. Every single year I have a bet with this guy. Every single year I end up dressing up. So congratulations to you and your Tigers, and maybe one day I'll have PB in the outfit here.
I hope I'm not around for it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Coach Brian Kelly.